Hello everyone! I thought I would share my Japan travel journal from my recent trip. And here's a little friend, just so you know. Spartacus is hanging out with us, keen to see what's inside since he didn't get to come along. And I also thought I would share some of the information and what happened with Traveler's Journal and why I didn't take my Traveler's Journal from the Traveler's Factory on this trip as my travel journal. It would have made a lot of sense to take it, but I had a special idea that didn't work out. So I decided to leave my rather chunky traveler's notebook at home on this trip because I had the grand plan of picking up a new one and inserts to use as my travel journal on my trip. So I know a lot of people might go straight to the Narita Airport branch, but I was actually arriving to Kansai. So I was arriving to Osaka and I decided to make the trip out to Kurashiki to try and pick up the red Love and Trip journal. It was May. I didn't realize that that would be an impossible task, and something else happened as well. Luckily, I took a backup journal, which is an old little moleskin. Even the elastic has gone really floppy. It's so old. I used to grab these maybe 10 years ago. I was really obsessed with using moleskins. And I took this one along because it's the one that has really thick paper, and I thought it would be great for stamping so that it wouldn't bleed through the pages. So I had this as a stamping notebook, very luckily, because it ended up being my only travel journal. Because unfortunately, when I went to the Kurashiki branch to pick up a potential new set of inserts and journal cover, even though I'd done my research online, I'd checked Google, I'd watched a lot of videos of people who had successfully gone there, when I arrived, the branch was closed. So, and I wasn't due to go to Kyoto till the end of my trip. So I was left traveler's notebook less for the trip. So that idea went out the window. And instead, I'll show you my moleskin stand-in travel journal that ended up saving me. And I'll just flip through this as I have a little chat about my trip. And everything had to go in here. So usually for a traveler's notebook, I would have had all the different inserts. One for stamping, one for junk journaling, one for sketching, but instead everything's in this, and it actually ended up quite lovely. I rather enjoy the idea that this ended up being a beautiful collage of my entire trip, including travel sketches, little ephemera from things I had eaten or consumed, little sketches of things we ate. It ended up all in here, and it's quite lovely. I'm very happy with how it's turned out. But in a traveler's notebook, I probably would have separated everything. So here are some of the parts from Kurashiki. I actually ended up being very, very sick when I was in Kurashiki as well. So I wasted an entire day. Luckily, I'd picked 3 full days for Kurashiki because I basically slept for 24 hours. Something else that a lot of people going to Kurashiki might not know about, this is the cutest gallery, Bjorn Gallery in Kurashiki. It's very close to the Bikan Historical Quarter, and I highly recommend visiting there. It's such an adorable, charming little art gallery. This was a little fortune I got, and a whole bunch of 5-leaf clovers that I found. There's another one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus my little fortune slip. I ended up keeping all sorts of things, like every time we went to a restaurant and they gave us chopstick holders, I would keep that. I would sketch some of the really, really lovely, yummy, delicious snacks I got to eat. That was from the airport. Some of the pages I color-coded. Others might have been thematic. This is when I visited Soso and Capital in Kyoto. Some of their special branded washi tape. That's that. This was a beautiful jacket from Capital that I'll dream of forever. I had the chance of visiting this artist's studio in Kurashiki, Kenichi Murakami. It was an amazing little visit. Very lucky to have been able to do that. I wasn't actively hunting for Eki stamps, but I just sort of decided if I went somewhere that had stamps, I would stamp my book, and I actively tried to look out for them, but I didn't necessarily do any, strict research to try and figure out which exits to go to. I just decided if I stumbled upon one, I would grab it. This was from Osaka Castle. I'm just going to unclip this. I teach young people, so sometimes I don't want to show them every single page. This was a fountain, a beautiful bronze statue to a flying start by Gio Hiroto, I think, or Hirato in Okayama. Just really charming little stores. I liked all of the business cards that I would get. You can tell that this is one of the days where I went to the Traveller's Factory in Kyoto finally and stood there hogging the stamp station, grabbing as many stamps as I could get for my non-traveller's notebook. This was an amazing tea ceremony evening that I got to attend, and phenomenal, beautiful ceramics. The packaging is just so cute. There's a Japanese word, pakegai, where you might purchase something because of the packaging alone. And I did a lot of that. This cafe had the cutest little resident cat, Kawa-chan, and beautiful herons would come and sit on the balcony, on the little terrace. Some of the little things I got. This was a little fueki ice cream. Is that a flip one? No. It was very yummy. This was a fantastic bookstore level in Kyoto, and it actually saved us. It grabbed us an incredibly beautiful book that we were really wanting to find, and it was very affordable. These are actually from my final little evening at the airport. Some of the snacks, some of the beautiful dresses I left behind. Did some sketches of some of my friends that hosted me. Shorakuen tea. I was given this as a very special omiyage, but the actual tea salon is in Tokyo, and I would really, really love to be able to go one day. It's a dream bucket list location. Of course, I went crazy for Tamagotchis. Sorry, not Tamagotchis. I did get a little Tamagotchi gashapon. I went crazy for gashapon and Tamagotchis. This was Osaka Castle. I went on my final day when it was raining, messed up some stamps, but I don't mind. I think it looks quite cute. Things are out of order, which I don't mind. I drew the Shinkansen that I caught, which was the N700. And finally, my boarding pass from the final day. So that was my little tour. Hopefully next time I do something like this, it will be in my traveler's notebook, because I will not make the same mistake I did last time. I will be taking it with me from the start, not going to be presuming that I'll be able to pick one up at the very start of my trip. That was a little bit silly, a bit hopeful, but it worked out. So I'm glad I had my little backup moleskin. Thanks so much for coming on the little tour with me. What did you think, Spartacus?